is that? Seriously, do you hear that? Hi people, and hello my Chilli Con Carnage Crew. It is Chilli here, bringing a new 5-minute review episode, this time on The Garden's newest album, Horseshit On Route 66. I don't think I've heard any of the band's new music, but Spotify suggested the album as it had just dropped, unusually on a Thursday instead of the traditional Friday release date. And unusual is certainly a perfect word to describe The Garden. Who are The Garden? Well, reading over their Wikipedia entry, twins Wyatt and Fletcher Shears from Orange County, California formed the band in 2011 and would release their self-made debut album in 2012 on cassettes? People still use cassettes? Anyway, they continued to record and release and tour, releasing 4 EPs, and with this release, now 5 studio albums. The band records several styles of music, stating the name of the band reflects them as they grow and evolve their sound. Wikipedia describes their styles as experimental rock, art punk, hardcore punk, electro-punk, synth punk, and hypnagogic pop? What the heck even is that last one? And the fuck is Vada Vada?
A few moments later.
Okay, so I checked that out on Spotify, and the playlist was pretty much The Garden's back catalogue, along with a handful of other bands. A Google search shows it's a term meaning complete freedom of expression without boundaries or guidelines. And I think this sentiment aptly sums up The Garden. Also, it's a 20-second song the band recorded along with another band, Aussie musician Helviz, but it's a different song that they recorded. Nice one, Helviz. So, we know the band do their own thing, and I kinda get it. It's like Death Grips meets Ramones with 90s era WCW face paint styles. If you were to judge the album by its cover, then you can immediately see it has mixed messages. It's like the band aimed for the 80s hair metal band photo shoot, with them donning jeans with leather jackets and just striking a pose with a guitar. Then you got the flannel jacket around the waist, like some 90s rock callback. Then the face paint. Yeah, it's all very odd. So the album itself is 11 tracks, clocking at just under 25 minutes long, with tracks like Opener Haunted House on Zillow going for a early Misfits punk kind of vibe, as well as the follow-up OC93, with the bass line reminding me of their song's Wolf's Blood, with screams that are a damn decent impression of early Tom Araya. The bass is deep in tone, and minimal guitars are mixed throughout the song as they shout and have spoken words in this song. However, it is very enticing. The next song, Porto de Limuzina, I think I mispronounced that, however, is pure 80s hardcore played fast-paced with distortion on the bass and fast drumming to match. But its breakdown goes into electronic drum beats and is shortly lived before jumping back and forth between these styles. The album does this quite a lot in the mixing of their styles within songs, for a few seconds showing their band's flair for experimental and crossover, delivered with relatively clean vocals that you might find in some indie bands. It's the antithesis, however, of indie rock with the writing of this music, and I feel reminded right now of something YouTuber Punk Rock MBA mentioned when he said the new wave of punk rock won't be anything like we could expect, but instead fairly electronic. And I think this will be the state of future punk rock. Yeah, punk rock traditionalists will be pissed off at the thought of that, and if that's the case, then I ask you this. Do you not see the irony? When you think about it, 70s punk was written due to bland and repetitively overproduced music, and it was an underground movement that eventually made several subgenres with a few big names coming out of this scene, and making the scene more prominent over time. Eventually, all future punk bands would follow the same formula, and all more or less would sound very similar, and thus becoming a bit bland. If anything, this band's sound is the most punk thing I have heard in years, because it is music that is underground and goes against the norms of punk rock. By doing something absolutely unusual in the scene, the band have not conformed to what is to be expected of them, and thus are more punk than a lot of other bands right now. Now, don't get me confused with saying this is unique. I mean, in the music industry, it's almost impossible to be unique these days. Everything has just been done. The clown face paint? Been done. The dress style? Bitch please. Even the genres of music are nothing new. What makes it all work, I think, is the band's attitude of, we write music that we want to, here it is, take it or leave it. Sure, most won't appreciate the experimental side of it, but as far as the experimental music goes, this one's fairly accessible. I have heard a lot of weird shit in my day, and most times with that genre, you can tell in a song or two if you're going to like a band or their album, and this is the case here. It passed and it grew on me very fast. I mean, I played this album in full and wrote this review in one night. I don't do that ever for any of my reviews, but it was this good I felt compelled to write this review. Overall, I can appreciate this album for what it is, and I rate it 3.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with standout tracks being OC93 and Horseshit On Route 66. This band might take a few listens, and if you aren't enjoying what's on offer, this 30-minute album might feel like 60 minutes to you. But if you have an open taste in music, then I would say give them a go. You might even enjoy them as I did. My name is Chilli from Live Listen Erased, and thank you very much for tuning into this episode of 5 Minute Reviews. You stay spicy out there. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Live Listen Erased, and if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our Chilli Con Carnage Crew so you can get notified for all the future videos that we put out, as we put out videos every Friday. Also, we are on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter over at Live Listen Erased, so make sure to tune in over there. And don't forget to like this video so that our manager can stay very happy.